Coming up now on Animal Outtakes, the dramatic release of a white pelican and the happy ending to a year of rehabilitation. Plus, you'll meet a very rare albino crocodile who could not survive in the wild. And a lot of hard work and dedication goes into caring for these furry little bunnies. That and more right now on Animal Outtakes. A couple of weeks ago, we told you about a white pelican that spent the last year recovering at Save Our Seabirds, but needed to find a flock before it could be released. This is the inspirational story of recovery and release. Recently, we aired a Preserve and Protect segment about our friends at Saving Our Seabirds. You may recall seeing their white pelican that was unable to be released.
This one, it was stubborn. It wasn't growing his feathers back properly, and so we had to keep it one more year, and now it's finally going to be ready for release.
We knew the time was near, and today is the day we finally get to see this lovely bird fly free.
Today we're going to be releasing our American white pelican. We've had him for over a year. He came to us as a juvenile from Wisconsin, and he needed some extra feather growth. Unfortunately, last year he missed his migration, so we're super excited because today we're going to reunite him with his pod. Okay, so we just got him carried kind of like a football, and then keep my finger in his mouth so he can breathe, and he calms right down. So let's go reunite you with your pod. I know, you're so excited. Okay. Ready? Your pod's out there, Ready? Go find them, they're out there.
American white pelicans are migratory birds coming south for the winter. Often, Florida's Gulf Coast is a stopover on their migration. This pod recently arrived, so it was the perfect opportunity to release this bird. At first, he seemed a bit hesitant, uncertain what to do. But it wasn't long before.
There he goes. Oh, there he goes. Wow. He's probably going to swing back around. He will find his pod. There are hundreds of pelicans out here right now, and they will stay a majority of the winter and then fly back. But we wanted to make sure that we got him out here at the beginning of the migration season so that he was able to reconnect with the pod and learn how to collectively forage.
What a magnificent scene to see this bird join an existing pod of white pelicans after a year of rehabilitation. Another successful rescue story with a most happy ending, thanks to our friends at Saving Our Seabirds. The American white pelicans arrive in the late fall and stay until the spring. Here are some of the best places to possibly see them. We've taken a look at some of the larger animals local kids work with as a part of 4-H. But in today's Kids and Critters, Lauren talks to some members working on a much smaller scale. But don't let that size fool you. The responsibility is still very big.
Today, we're with the Bradenton Bunnies 4-H Club, learning some tips on how to raise rabbits. So who is this?
This is my rabbit Kobe.
And how old is Kobe?
Kobe is about a year old.
And tell me a little bit about his personality, like what are rabbits like?
Depending on what breed of rabbit you have, like the Netherland Dwarfs, which I have here, they're a little more temperamental and they'll bite you a little bit, but mainly they're very calm rabbits, and they're very good to have as house pets and also good for showing.
Do they have a lot of energy, rabbits? Is there any way you have to exercise them, or?
Letting them hop around like on a patio is very good because their nails, they constantly grow and it'll help file down the nails. And also just letting them run around your house. Rabbits are a very small animal and they're very lovable and they like to love on you also. So that's why I sort of do this, because they're such a loving animal and they're very easy to take care of. They're not hard like cows where you have to walk with them and everything. They are very clean animals. They don't normally like get all messy, and they normally go to the bathroom in one area, which is really nice because you can litter box train them, just like a cat. Some of the cons though is they can nip a little bit, but that's very rarely. It all depends on what kind of rabbit you have and the rabbit themselves.
I really like a challenge, and having a lot of responsibility to me is a really good challenge. I have to groom my rabbit, clip my rabbit's nails, feed and water my rabbit every single day, and just give my rabbit attention every day. I have always loved animals, and to me, if I see an animal, then I'd pick that over any electronic, because something alive is so much better than something that's a thing. To me, I have 2 teenagers for a brother and sister, so I come home and I have a feeling that I can just go over to my rabbit and they're like my best friend whenever I get home. I just like everything about 4-H. It's just awesome.
From furry little bunnies to a rare albino crocodile. Next, we get up close and personal in this week's edition of Animal Adventure. Don't go away.
For thousands of years, we've been humans' best friend. You've been through a lot, and we've been right there with you. A dog is part of the family, a confidant, and a friend who always knows how to get into your heart. So what happens to our beloved companions when we can no longer care for them? This is why we've created Dante's Den, an innovative, state-of-the-art facility that will provide care for up to 100 dogs.
Dante's Den is a community for joyful dogs.
Millions of Americans face uncertainty when planning for the future of beloved pets who may well outlive them. Dante's Den is a charitable organization, so in whatever capacity you can, please lend your support so that we may continue this most wonderful work.
Dante and I would like to thank you for watching and for also opening up your hearts to our wonderful community of joyful dogs.
Learn about the many ways you could become involved by visiting dantesden.org.
The crested caracara is listed in Florida as threatened. Their numbers have declined due to many factors, including illegal hunting. Help support efforts to eliminate the threat of illegal hunting, not just for birds of prey such as the caracara, but for all wildlife. Always alert authorities if you see people hunting illegally, or if you see wildlife parts such as feathers being sold illegally.
Welcome back. We've done some pretty unusual stories here on Animal Outtakes, but I can't remember anything like the next one. Albinos are a rare genetic fact of life in the animal kingdom, but the physical changes in appearance can make it impossible for them to survive in the wild. This is the story of a rare albino crocodile that we recently met. Everybody knows alligators are green, right? Well, with our friend Andrew, you can never assume anything.
Now, it's considered a white alligator, though. Is that correct?
Yeah, a lot of people will market them as white alligators. Other people call them leucistic, which basically means they just have a lot of lighter color pigmentation. An albino has no pigmentation. This actually has just the lighter coloration. You know, it's common to see the black spotting here and there, and then some coloration coming through as they grow and get larger.
Now, we talk about growing and getting larger. How large can we expect this guy to go?
Males can average 13 to 15 feet, you know, so I mean, if he lives a nice long life, which we hope he will, you know, we could look at a 12 or 13 foot alligator in about 10 or 12 years possibly.
And then I really got brave, and the adventure began. Well, you'll notice mine couldn't bite me.
So here we are, the three wise guys. And we, of course, have the white alligator, and you have, Andrew, the
Piebald alligator.
piebald. And what makes that a piebald?
It's a different mutation, and if you notice, the eyes are a real light coloration. There's not a lot known about the piebald mutation in alligators. This is one of 3 that are alive that we know about. And there could be more, you know, it's just people haven't discovered them yet.
Now, because of the color of the eyes, are we talking a keen eyesight, or are we talking something that's a little bit blinded?
That's still kind of up in the air. My experience working with them, it seems like there's not a whole lot of loss in vision. Because of that lighter coloration, you know, with albinos, we know their vision isn't that good. With these guys, you know, maybe they're colorblind. You know, maybe they only see certain degrees of color or detail. But as far as I can tell, he sees pretty dang good. I mean, especially when I'm coming in to clean his pen or pick him up. I mean, he knows where I'm at.
These alligators can live how long?
The average lifespan is ballpark 60 to 80 years in good conditions. In the wild, it's a little rougher of a climate sometimes, you know, competition and all that. So, I mean, sometimes they don't live past 20 years. And that's the same for captivity. You know, healthy animals in ideal conditions can live, you know, those very, very long extended lifespans, upwards of 80 years. But just like people, you know, some people don't make it past 20 or 10 or 2.
And then I apparently insulted my gator.
Now, this guy is getting a little heavy.
Yeah.
He's mad that you're making jokes about his weight. That
Oh,
might be
I'm
it.
so sorry.
Yeah,
I
so.
truly am sorry.
I learned he weighs only 7 or 8 pounds, but he felt like a ton. And those noises.
These animals are all kind of desensitized to the situation. They're used to being around us, so that's probably not a distress call, but it is communication. So he's trying to get your attention for whatever reason. Maybe he was uncomfortable. Maybe he's got to pee. I don't know. So
Any one of the above, huh?
any one of the above. You'll find out in a second which one.
And I did, which seemed like a perfect place to end.
I think he is doing the pee-pee dance.
Yeah,
actually.
well, I think so too. A little bit.
He's about to. It's good luck when they pee on you.
Wonderful.
And that's
It's fresh.
Comes
Yeah,
from.
yeah. It's
Don't
fresh
let
squeezed.
anybody tell you different. That's where Gatorade comes from.
Yep, fresh squeezed Gatorade straight from the
Always drink
source.
Powerade.
Really?
Yeah.
White alligators and albino gators do occur in the wild, but they often don't survive long. Being bright white, they stand out to predators, and believe it or not, they can get sunburned, which is why Andrew must keep their white gator in the shade. Who knew?
Now it's time to visit a local VIP. This week, a popular TV host who happens to be a big animal lover.
You know, this is the dog of my lifetime, so I cannot imagine being without her. Lulu is a long-haired Chihuahua. I married into her family. She was my husband's before I met him, but she was not socialized. She stayed with the other dogs. She didn't like to be around people. She barked. She was not friendly. But it made me want her to like me all the more, which I don't know what that says about me. She just liked to be with her family, with her other dogs, and she got a bad skin allergy, and the whole plan was to take care of her enough to get her better, and then maybe see if she could go to another home where, you know, someone could take care of her with the amount of care I knew she'd need. And when I brought her in to get her better, she did find a home, and it was right here. It takes a long time to bathe her just because it takes a long time to dry her. I have to have Jerry cut her nails because I can't do it. Anything, and clean her ears, he's got to do it. Anything that I think might hurt her, he's got to do. But I'll do the, you know, the scrubbing and the cleaning. We get her a cut every couple times a year. We go real short because we know it'll grow back. But the long hair and the kind of little scrag off her ears, that's her look. So I like her to look like her. Well, like any Chihuahua, she's got two personalities. She has the one that I see at home that is lovey and playful and sweet, and then there's the one everyone else sees, which is mean and standoffish, cold, I think. Chihuahuas can be cold, but that's okay. You know, I get it at home with her. I mean, she makes me happy. And I have so much kinetic energy and not anxiety, but what's the word? I just have so many things going through my mind all the time, and spending time with her calms me down. You know, it kind of quiets the brain that's always going, and yeah. She's not going anywhere, and if she is, I'm going with her. Well, I was a bit of a gypsy as an actor and traveling all the time, and so she was kind of the last piece of really making home in one place. And you know, as you well know, when you have an animal, you can't be gone. You know, you can't up and go, and you have to check back into your home base a lot. And yeah, she has grounded me, and she's also been the first dog that's really dependent on me, and I realized I like it.
Still ahead, the dog of the week. The tiny Chihuahua may be small in stature, but they have big personalities, and they come in two different styles as well. We'll explain that when we come back. Our dog of the week is a tiny package that comes with a big punch. But don't you ever try to get between a Chihuahua and its owner. They're fiercely loyal.
Big love comes in small packages, as I found out when I visited Colleen Brossard and her Chihuahuas.
Colleen, we have these beautiful Chihuahuas that are yours, but there's a little difference in their looks. Can you explain that?
Okay, one is a smooth coat and one is a long coat.
Obviously, this is our smooth coat
This
right
is a smooth
here.
coat, right. And there are some that are smooth coats that have a little bit more hair, but they don't have to. This is the typical smooth coat.
We've had a lot of Chihuahuas here at Dante's Den, both boarding and up for adoptions, and they are just full of energy. I saw them full of energy when you walked in, but now they're very calm.
When they're in their lap, of somebody, then they really want to be held. And of course, this is a puppy, and she's a little bit on the timid side because she came from a pretty good sized kennel, and so she's just getting used to my house, and she's being held up. But there's a big difference in the sizes of Chihuahuas, and you'll get this personality on the smaller ones.
Colleen, who is a former judge, says that for showing, a Chihuahua shouldn't be more than 6 pounds.
You'll see some 10-pounders, but they really shouldn't. That's getting a little bit too big.
Okay.
Because then it brings out the terrier personality, and they get pretty tough.
And that brings up a very good point when you say the terrier.
Yeah, they're not terrier background, but they say terrier-like and terrier temperament. They're very territorial, and that's where they got that terrier personality. Basically, they're very, very protective of their owners.
Now these are what we call sometimes a boutique dog, because ladies love to put them in their signature purses and carry them around. And is that really what they enjoy doing?
Oh yeah, they want to be with somebody, like she's used to sitting in my lap.
Out of the other breeds that you have either judged or you have raised yourself, what's the one single most outstanding quality of the Chihuahua?
They want to be with you every minute. They want to be in your lap. They're one person or one family. They're good with children, but not babies because they're just too fragile.
So if you're looking for a little 6-pound bundle of love that wants to be with you all the time, the Chihuahua is for you. And if you like big dogs, you just may want to reconsider.
Because they think they're a big dog.
Yes, they do. We learned about the smooth coat and long coat, but Chihuahuas come in a variety of colors, as well as fawn, black, blue, chocolate, gold, red, white, and many patterns. Merle, sable, brindle, Irish mark, and tricolored, just to name a few. Up next, more animal outtakes when we return.
For thousands of years, we've been humans' best friend. You've been through a lot, and we've been right there with you. A dog is part of the family, a confidant, and a friend who always knows how to get into your heart. So what happens to our beloved companions when we can no longer care for them? This is why we've created Dante's Den, an innovative, state-of-the-art facility that will provide care for up to 100 dogs.
Dante's Den is a community for joyful dogs.
Millions of Americans face uncertainty when planning for the future of beloved pets who may well outlive them. Dante's Den is a charitable organization, so in whatever capacity you can, please lend your support so that we may continue this most wonderful work.
Dante and I would like to thank you for watching and for also opening up your hearts to our wonderful community of joyful dogs.
Learn about the many ways you could become involved by visiting dantesden.org.
You can watch full episodes of Animal Outtakes by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Just visit youtube.com/animalouttakes.
Welcome back. Glue traps are a cruel way to trap animals and often capture the unintended, as we're about to hear from our local wildlife first responders.
This is a glue trap, which most people that rescue wildlife think they're very cruel because birds get tangled up in this. This black one here is what the red-shouldered hawk that we're going to release was trapped in. He was laying on his back and his whole left wing, all primary feathers were stuck in this trap.
The hawk was taken to save our seabirds, but because the feathers were so badly damaged, it had to stay there until it molted.
Today is a year and 4 days he's been in captivity, all because of these glue traps.
But today, this lucky bird will be released, and we're here to see it happen.
It's just really exciting to see all the aspects of our mission come together into one example. You know, the core of our mission is the 3 R's, rescue, rehabilitate, and release. And this was a fantastic rescue, a very successful rehabilitation, and a very exciting release.
Wow, wasn't that amazing? What an interesting story, and I learned a lot. We are so happy our white pelican found his new family. And we hope that you've had fun and look forward to seeing you again next week for another edition of Animal Outtakes. I'm Marcia Panucci, and we thank you for joining us.
Whoa, whoa, that's all right, it's all right, it's all right. I think he is doing the pee-pee dance.
Yeah,
actually.
Well, I think so too. A little bit.
He's about to. It's good luck when they pee on you.
Oh, wonderful.
It's fresh,
Huh?
it's fresh squeezed.
Nobody tell you different. That's where Gatorade comes from.
Yep, fresh squeezed Gatorade, straight from the source.
Really?
Yeah.
Woo! So, okay, now sit. There we go. Let's go as fast as we can. You're recovering at Save Our Seabirds, but he needed to find a flock before he could, well, welcome back. We need Zeus. Zeus! Zeus is not cooperating today. Well, that worked, except I've got him going the opposite direction. Okay.